Hey, Chris here. It's been a while since I did a top 10 countdown of something Tomb Raider-y, but let's dive into another one. This one was actually a little bit trickier to put together than I anticipated, and some of you might be a little surprised about what's contained in the list. But let's dive into the top 10 most powerful artifacts in Tomb Raider. And number 10 is Tomb Raider Chronicles: The Bestiary. This book Lara finds on the Black Isle, and it allows her to do a myriad of things. Not only does this ancient spellbook have the power to summon demons for the people who know how to use it, but also allows them to stop demonic entities, just as Lara does. This ancient tome has the power to effectively stop supernatural beings. So it's pretty powerful, and yet it still goes at number 10 on my list. And number 9, 𝘀𝗁𝗏 from Tomb Raider Legend. Why is this one so low down on my list? It's got all of that amazing green energy that Lara can throw around and kill things with. What else can it do? Sure, those green blasts of energy are strong, but its primary function seems to actually just be a key, and that key allows people to travel to Avalon. Basically, it's not that powerful. But we know that this artifact has actually enabled someone, Lara, to destroy a demon, which is a little higher up the list than the Bestiary, which just allows you to sort of control them. Next in, at number 8, the Dagger of 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗏 from Tomb Raider 2. It's a fantastic treasure, and it's very powerful if you want to be a dragon. In terms of its other powers, it does seem to make the user immortal, or at least semi-invulnerable, as long as it's plunged into their heart. But again, it's a really powerful artifact if you want to be a big, fire-breathing, stompy, angry reptile. I mean, you could go to war as this thing and missiles would just bounce off you because you've still got the dagger inside you, and you'll stay invulnerable until it's pulled out. Moving on to number 7, we have Rise of the Tomb Raider's Divine Source, but also Tomb Raider Chronicles: Philosopher's Stone. I'm including these as a sort of joint package because they both effectively do the same thing. They keep the user alive indefinitely, which I add slightly higher up the list than the Dagger of 𝘀𝗏𝗏 because, well, if you take that out, you're dead. If you keep using the Divine Source or the Philosopher's Stone, you will stay alive, and you will keep staying alive. Also, it comes with the added benefit that it doesn't turn you into a dragon, which is very handy, because I can't imagine that people who turn into dragons have the ability to actually hold things, or communicate and speak to people, unless someone understands roars and yelps. So I think being a dragon is very limited, whereas if you remain as a humanoid and yet continue to live, it provides you with a lot more potential to be, well, devastatingly evil and powerful. Speaking of wars, we're going to number 6's Spear of Destiny from Tomb Raider Chronicles, which is said to have the power to lay waste to entire armies. But not only this, it can make entire armies invincible. Pretty powerful. Pretty handy if all of your soldiers are immortal. And then if the user has the power to actually lay waste to other armies, dangerous, powerful. When you think about it, it's kind of similar to the Divine Source, but it's kind of like a twofer, because you get the immortality, but then you also get the inbuilt power to destroy things. You don't have to go out of your way to look for that power. It's like you buy the spear and you get the destructive power for free. It's a good deal. For number 5, we're going away from the games and into the movies with the Cradle of Life's Pandoras Box. Now, the Sunday school version of the story says that the box contains all of the evils of the world. Yet we come to learn that it contains much more dangerous things than just evils. It contains the anti-life, basically death or a plague. So contained within this box is the power to wipe out not only armies, but entire civilizations. That's a little bit of a step higher than the Spear of Destiny. So as Lara said for that one, some things are just not meant to be found. Racing towards the end, number 4, Thors Hammer from Tomb Raider Underworld. In this game, we see it do roughly the same amount of damage and have the same sort of power as 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗃, but it's said to be able to do so much more. It's supposed to be able to level mountains and slay giants and kill gods, which is why Lara went after it in order to defeat 𝗀𝗏𝗏. But she doesn't. Whether it just didn't work, or it doesn't have the power it was supposed to, or Lara just didn't know how to use it properly, I just think she was really silly for throwing it like that at 𝗀𝗏𝗏 instead of using it to its full potential. It could have been so much more powerful and devastating and dangerous, which is why it's so high up on my list. For number 3, we have a little trinket from The Last Revelation. I'm talking about the Amulet of Horus. This thing actually does have the power to contain gods, which is something that maybe Lara should have considered again whilst fighting 𝗀𝗏𝗏. It's like phenomenal cosmic power, but this tiny little Ankh artifact is just too much for them, way too much, because using that contains them in one place, or it seals them magically, supernaturally, stops them from being able to conquer the world, or unleash armies, or destroy things and people and civilizations. It's a strange one to be so high up this list, because it's not technically destructively powerful like a few of the others are, but the power that it actually holds, the strength of this artifact in order to actually hold gods in place, very powerful. Seth's still down there, getting angrier and angrier. Whew. So in at number 2, we have the Periup Shards from the Angel of Darkness. Now these 3 daggers have the power to do what Thors Hammer was supposed to be able to do, but not only that, it also has the power of the Amulet of Horus. It can slay immortal beings, but it can also hold them in place in a stasis, which is pretty damn powerful, and that's why it's at number 2, is because that has the power to hold but also to kill. Really fiercely powerful entities in the Tomb Raider universe. And when you think about it, Lara should really take a Periup Shard or 3 on all her adventures, given her disposition for finding naughty immortal people. Could really help. Just a thought. So in at number 1, in a turn that might surprise some of you and you might be like,
"What? No, that's ridiculous."
I think is Shadow of the Tomb Raider's Silver Box and the Key of 𝘱𝗃𝗃𝗁, and I will tell you why. These items, when combined, can literally rewrite reality, remake worlds, destroy universes. They can rewrite timelines. Literally, imagination of the user is the limit, and it's terrifying. The person who has this artifact can literally will things in or out of existence and wish universes into nothingness just like that. In terms of power and potential destructive power, I actually don't think anything comes close in the Tomb Raider universe. And even when you consider what if it went into the hands of someone good who wished for world peace, even that is taking agency and free will away from people, effectively controlling them, bending them to the will of the user. In no way of using this artifact can it be considered, well, the moral or good thing to do. This one little box could literally destroy everything. And that's why it's my number 1.
Lovely.
That was my top 10 list. I hope it wasn't too controversial. Please let me know what yours are in the comments, whether or not the most powerful or your top 10 favorite. Just let me know. It'd be interesting to see. Till next time.